Hello, 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 and welcome to the Monday night live stream at Joe Daddy's Garage. We do this on Mondays at 7 o'clock and typically on Thursdays at 3 p.m., but that's being debated whether I'm going to continue to do that. As it seems right now, everybody is maybe a little busier in the summer and doing different things, so the view count is lower on Thursdays than it is on Mondays. But I'm still debating on that. So just giving you a heads up on that. This live stream, we talk about mostly classic cars, what's going on at the shop, and we try to get people to interact, ask questions, have comments and different things. And I try to answer the questions. If I can, that's fine. If I can't, there's usually people in that chat box on the side that have a good answer. And you get a reward. You get a little bell if you give a good answer. It's kind of like one of the game shows, the old game shows on TV where you get some sort of a, whatever sound effect whenever you did it good. So anyway, that's where we're at. Now, along with that, I'm going to point out that at times, my live stream may get delayed or locked up or whatever. And it's gotten a little bit better, but we still have issues. Just hang in there. Give it a second or two or a minute, whatever, and it should correct itself and come back and be fine. So anyway, it is raining outside. It's been raining off and on this last week, and that's good and bad. Helps keep maybe helps cool the temperature a little bit, but when the humidity's sky high, it really doesn't matter much. So I've been out here in the shop trying to get things done, and even over the weekend, working on different things. And I'm going to go over some of that as we move forward. So early on, we have Cheryl. It says David and Cheryl, but it's only Cheryl. So she gets the Cheryl bell because she's the only Cheryl we have. And I would give one for Dave because usually we give a Dave bell, but since he's not here, I think so. Yeah, just Cheryl. She's the first one here. Don't forget to hit thumbs up. Yes, thank you. Roger checking in from next door. Glad you're here. Shane is here. I made it. Hello all. Glad you're here. Ron Bell. Hey Barry checking in from Northeast Tennessee. Always good to have Ron here. And there's I want to check because on the last live stream, and Bob Knoll is usually here. And I don't know what has happened. I don't know if somebody flagged him or something. So, Bob, if you're watching, I checked, and you're not on the naughty list. So I don't know what's going on. So if you're here, try to respond tonight. And if not, if something happens, we'll go do more. But I don't know if somebody else had, a comment got flagged. I don't know. But Bob, I want to point that out. Crash Rider, greetings to everyone inspired by Joe Daddy. I've been cleaning my garage to make room for some projects that need to be completed before my lease on life expires. Well, yeah, that's reasonable. I need to do the same thing. As I go through the build on this car and I'm scavenging around trying to find parts that I 8 years ago set aside, and I'm tripping over things, and it's getting really frustrating. So I'm getting, the list is getting smaller of items that I need to find or do or whatever. And I'm looking forward to getting it all done so I can take this outside and just start condensing, rearranging, organizing things, and get this garage straightened back up. Jerry checking in from the Money Pit in Middle Tennessee. Chris Greenaway got to go to work. He has to go to work. See y'all at 4 on Thursday. Okay. Glad you're here anyway. Rick Stevenson checking in. Glad you're here. Sammy Lisa Smith. Hello, friends. Wally checking in. Good evening, everyone. I'm glad you're here, Wally. Dan checking in from the Sandbox. Gordon Cahoon. Greetings from Hopkinton, Rhode Island. Long time no here. Work. Okay, well, I'm glad you're here, Gordon. Robert. I'm here. Got distracted looking at houses. Yeah, that happens. Rally Cat Garage, Harvey. Happy Monday, Barry. First Harvey here tonight. Well, that's true. The one and only Harvey. Doyle Hi, is Headliner in? Headliner is in. I do have the first video up, and that was put out sometime last week. And the next video in that set will come out tomorrow. I was trying to do it. It's a tedious, long process, and I could have made a video that was over an hour long, and YouTube doesn't like that. I'll just say that up front. YouTube doesn't like that. They want to have like a 10-minute video, 15-minute video, something like that. And if it's a really long video, then the advertisers don't get on board, and it's just becomes blech. So anyway, what I'm doing is trying to break it down into shorter segments. Other people do that too, but hopefully it helps everyone with the process. Chris Driver, hello from Fort Worth, Texas. Glad you're here. I don't know have I seen Chris before? I don't recognize the driver name. I'm usually pretty good at remembering names. Usually. Joseph McKinney, first time. Hello, everyone. Glad you're here, Joseph. I'll give you a first time bell for being here. Appreciate it. Let's see. Oh, okay. So Robert's talking to Chris. Car Guy Troy checking in. Glad you're here. March Indy. Rick, I'm glad you're here. Thumbs up. Yes. Hearst Scrambler. Hot tip. Always cover the inside glass if you're welding inside the car. I got spatter on the windows. Not too bright. Okay. That's not good. That is not good. Robert says he sent me a message, says he lost me. Is everybody else here? I hope it's still working. Joe Lee Cox. Good evening, everyone. Glad you're here. Let's see. Dawn's Manufactory. Hello, everyone, from Dawn at Betsy in Muggy, Oregon. Dawn, have you posted any videos yet? We need to let everybody know if you've been posting your videos. So, Samuel Lisa Smith, rain helps us. It keeps the garden watered. That is true. That is true. David and Cheryl, we got the tires back on the 69 Thunderbird, and all four wheels roll. That's a plus. That's a little bell, but that's a good bell. That's a good thing. Okay. So I don't know if Robert has lost me, if he needs to, what's going on with him, because he sent me a message, said he lost me. I'm assuming everybody else is still here. It's not showing any Wi-Fi, so it might be on Robert's end that there's some sort of conflict. As you can see, look, if you notice, I'm wearing one of my Spartan shirts. I went back to old school Spartan stuff. I've probably haven't mentioned it in a while, but I have done the okay. So Roger says, I'm still fine on his phone. TV is frozen and showing the reloading cycle. That's odd. Okay. Well, we'll just have to continue on. Anyway, I used to do Spartan races, and this is one of my old shirts from one of my Spartan events, and I saw it laying out, and I thought, oh, you know what? I'll put that on tonight just to remember when I used to be in shape and I could run and I could do all kinds of stuff. And now that's not so much the case. Time is catching up on me. Time is catching up. So if anybody else is still have a good service, am I still showing up? Because I'm not showing any indications that that it's not functioning. So let me know. Let me know. Give me some sort of indication. Now, Robert says, round is a shape. Yeah, that is true. That is true. Had chat, but video died on TV and laptop. Reload and okay. Okay, good. Okay, so everybody's having to reload because it's maybe not my problem because I'm not showing any Wi-Fi thingy on my screen right now. So good. Crystal clear. Awesome. Good enough. Thank you, Shane. Okay. Loud and clear, Richard says. Wally even says looking good. He's in another country. He's all the way up north. All right, I'm getting lots of good. All right. Okay, that's excellent to hear. I'm glad to hear that. Now, as I said, I've been working on the car. I've been trying to get stuff done. I do have the front end together. and well, all but the bumper and the lights, like the parking lights and stuff like that. I have everything bolted on, and NPD came through and they sent me the other half of the grill surround. All that stuff went in. It's fine. It's looking good. The bumper, however, is giving me a fit, and a fit. Play on words. It's a fit. No. Anyway, it fits, but it doesn't fit. It fits on the brackets. I can get all the bolts in at the top. Wonderful. But I come to the side, and basically, if you were to look at like my phone being the fender, it's got that's the direction the bumper should almost be parallel. I mean, almost parallel to the shape of the fender, and it's not. As it fades away from the fender, it goes kind of like that. So it's pushed away on both sides, 1/2 to 5/8 of an inch. It's flared out on the ends. So I'm going to have to reconcile that. And I've talked to a couple different people and had some ideas, but basically I've got to try to get the ends to come in and not bend the bumper. You know what I'm saying? Because it would be easy to try to bend the bumper, and what you could end up doing is, because of the shape of it, you could flex it in the middle, and that's not the answer, because it follows the shape of the car fine. The ends have to be pulled in. So I got to work on that. Sammy Lisa Smith, giving you a fit, bell for you. Okay. So anyway, that's one of the dilemmas that I have currently. I'm trying to do other things. I'm still putting in the kill mat. I have got most of it in. I have the panel that's going to go behind the seat, the metal panel that's going to get screwed to the structure for the rear seat area. I have it painted, so that's going to go in very soon. I also got some parts in. Now, I had mentioned that I had ordered parts from NPD and from Kentucky Mustang. So both of them showed up on the same day. That's a good thing. Let me just show you some of the stuff that I got, because this is going to come into play later on, because I'm going to have to do some videos. But NPD box came in good shape. One of the things I'm really happy to see are the weather strip runs for the doors, for the glass and the door glass. So I'm glad these showed up. That's pretty important right now, because I did start a video on the glass that I'm gonna do over, because I got to put these pieces in. Also, I got a variety of stuff in this package. Some of it is the little rubber seals that go at the front of the vent window. This is the hose for the washer pump that I talked about. There's also some little rubber bumpers for like the ashtray and the glove box. These things you don't think about it like right off the bat, but if you have a thorough list when you're doing this and you write that stuff down, well, then it makes it a lot easier. I knew I needed them because I took them out, but it was one of those things that I need to order these. I'm not sure what those are. There's some. Oh, wow. Oh, wait, that's 2 packages. One's hood molding. Oh, washer bottle. That's right. I ordered a washer bottle too. So the screws are there for the washer bottle. I ordered the sun visors for the new chrome, and maybe it's just me. I don't know. Maybe it's how they're made. But I always thought that bar was one long piece that went all the way through the visor, but apparently it's 2 separate, at least in this kit. Now, I haven't pulled the old ones apart to see, but that's what I got. Along with that, I have 2 brand new TMI visors. I'm happy with these. These things are really nice. But there's something else. A couple other things. Oh, I wanted to point this out. I'm going to do something different with the locks on the car. I put in the original door locks, and some comments were like, you should have polished those up or shine them up better. They're stainless steel, but they're not really meant to be super shiny. But I found this kit on NPD. Now, the reason I got this kit, first reason is I needed the trunk lock, the rod. I was missing the rod. Somehow I've lost that rod. So I wanted a new trunk lock. Well, then I started looking at this kit. What they give you in this kit, and I don't know if you've seen these or not, this is part number 22050-2C. Okay, no, you can't see that. Anyway, they give you 2 new door locks. Should be pretty shiny. They look pretty shiny. They give you a new trunk lock, and they give you a new tumbler for your ignition. What this does is it eliminates having to have 2 keys. The keys look like traditional. They look like your traditional Mustang keys, Ford keys, but instead of having that weird offset that they have, now you only need 1 key to open the doors, open the trunk, and start the car. I think that's a pretty cool idea. So that's something I'm going to be doing as well. Let me see what I got here. I got Nick checking in. What's up? Doyle Walker, what product do you use to remove old window rubber seal adhesive under drip rail? So you're talking about up here, I assume, under the drip rail? Well, there's a couple things you can do. I mean, I used to just take a plastic scraper and scrape the stuff off. But since you mentioned that, now you're going to have me on a scavenger hunt. I have some. I'll show you something. Hold on. Talk amongst yourselves as I wander around the garage. And I'll show you this because this is something, since you brought it up, this is something that we used to use at the body shop. Basically, it's called an eraser pad, right? You can see that. I think I got this. I don't know if I got this at Harbor Freight. It might have been Harbor Freight. What this does, and it's meant to like remove pinstripes, stuff like that. Sorry that I'm standing up in front of this camera, but since we switched gears, it's meant to remove pinstripes from like good paint. So we've used it to remove stickers on cars, pinstripes, anything like that. But what it does is it takes it off, but it wears away a little bit of its own wheel while it does it. So if you put this in a drill, you can get up under that lip and just kind of walk it back and forth and remove that material. These things work great. We've used them for years, and they're fantastic. Let me see what we have here. Kuderlev, I have the exploded view assembly manuals that are extremely helpful in identifying individual parts to order. Always amazed at how many washer spacer clips there are. Yeah, that is true. That is true. Robert says he's used naphtha. Works great on a windshield too. Dawn's Manufactory used 3M adhesive remover. And Harvey, you can use an eraser wheel on a drill to remove the drip rail material. Yep. All good. But that's what I use. Okay. That answers that question. Good question, Doyle. Thank you. All right. I'm going to continue showing you some stuff because, why not? The other visor. Now, I did buy some of this 3M auto bedding and glazing compound. This is going to go around the back glass and the windshield. At least that's the plan. We'll find out. And I haven't gotten to the bottom of the box yet. I haven't even looked. Well, we'll see what's in here. course, the ever popular NPD wrapping paper. Aha. Let's get a gas cap. What else did I get? Oh, yeah. There's still something else down there. This is something we talked about before. I talked about the rubber deflector for the license plate in the back. This goes under the bumper, basically, and it's supposed to deflect. That's what the screw holes are for, that are in the quarter or the tail panel. You attach this. So I went ahead and got it. I'm going to try to put it in, see if it makes sense to me. Let me see what else. Oh, there we go. What is that? What is that? Oh, yeah. Washer bottle. Good. Good. Okay. Now I know what all was. I didn't even open everything, as you can see. I just kind of went with what, the stuff was on top. However, I noticed that there's a loose Mustang logo floating around, and unless I'm confused, I thought that the gas door already had something. Oh, I guess it doesn't. Okay, I thought it was already built, but I guess not. Oh, that's nice. Ooh. I don't know. Maybe I thought I ordered a different version though. I thought I ordered one with the pony in the middle. Not well. I guess I did. I guess that'll work. What do you think? They look all right. That's basically what I got. Yeah. So there's the. That's what it ended up with. Now, I'm guessing you can get a different centerpiece, like a GT or whatever. But the way this is set up, it has an internal little gas cap that they suggest you use. But it also comes with the spring-loaded one that you can, I guess, attach to the inner structure of the cap itself. The inside here, so that when you push this up, that it's supposed to, seal it. So I haven't decided which way I'm going to go with that yet, but I'm just happy to have the shiny thing, right? Now, I'm not sure about this though. I'm not sure. This is probably the correct thing, for the 68. But I don't know if I like that as much. I thought that there was a variation where it had a multicolored one, kind of like the 289. On the side has the red, white, and blue. I'll have to check into that because I don't know if that's was an option or not. So we'll find out. Dave checking in. I think technically that's the first Dave. I think. Get your Dave Bell in there. Car Guy Troy. Are you going to use, or is there a better backing for the door panels, door cards, or just the cardboard type stuff they had originally? Stuff the vinyl covers. Oh, I bought new panels. New door panels. I think is that your question? I'm using new door panels, and I also got the plastic, to go behind the door panel to help keep moisture out. I'm assuming that's what the question is. But I bought new ones. Robert, unfortunately, the 65.6 had a colostomy bag for the windshield washer fluid instead of a nice bottle. Yeah. Shane, was the washer bottle plastic on Jade originally? If so, when did it do away with the bag? I think Robert answered that in 65 and 6. It shows that bottle was a 68 item. That's all I have to go by. Kuderlev, just put a 3M around my windshield. Extremely messy job. Mask everything and have thinner nearby to clean up drip smears. That stuff is sneaky. Yeah, I kind of figured it would be. But I'll get it in. We'll see how it goes. Nick, have you ever seen the bracing on a Boss 429 inside the fender from cowl to shock tower? I want to add this to my car. I'm curious if you know anything about it that could help. Have I seen the bracing from the cowl to the shock tower? I have not, but I can tell you this. Dawn over there, Dawn Manufactory, sent me some pictures and where he did just that. So I don't know if he's posted anything on that yet. On his, let me see if I can find that. I know he sent me those. Nope, that's not it. At least I'm pretty sure. I know Dawn sent me something that was in relation to, yeah, there we go. Dawn, if it's okay with you, I'm going to download these so that Nick can see what you've done, because I love it. I think it's a fantastic idea. So let me get these pulled into the mix here. I actually like this idea, well, for the purpose. Now, I know the Mustangs to Fear frame stiffener that I put in the 66 is a different type of design. But let me see here. Okay, so here's what Dawn has done. Check this out. Let me pull off Nick's comment real quick. So you can see that he welded, it looks like 1-inch square tubing that's connected to the A-pillar, and then it comes forward and meets the front edge of like the firewall and the cowl. So that's one part of it. And then the next picture, he's continued on, made a junction point at the cowl and the firewall, and brought that forward to the somewhere, another point forward on, I'm guessing, the tower. I can't see where the picture ends. So I think it's a pretty cool idea. And, you know, Nick, if that's what you're looking for, Don says he has a video done on the stiffener. So maybe he'll get those up on his channel soon. And you get a look at that. You need a Dave horn that we really know. That way we really know when Dave arrives. When Dave arrives, yeah. Ed, hey, Doug just sent you pics of my 95 to your email address. Doug just sent you pics. Wait, what? I'm lost. What does that mean? Ed is saying that Doug just sent you pics of my 95 to your email address. Okay, I just looked at my email. I'm not showing any recent or new emails, so I'm not sure what that's about. But we'll follow it and see what happens. Fabulous Fortunes, Midway 67 was a switch from the bag to bottle. My early 67 still had the bag. Thank you for that. Appreciate that. And on that note, time for coffee. Okay, let's see what else we have going on. Let's see. Car Guy Troy, I was going to ask you when he switched. Oh, I have a late 67, so it sounds like I need the bottle. Okay. Good. Nick, that is basically it, but tied into the B pillar. Well, A pillar, right? A pillar, not B pillar. Yeah. Rick Stevenson, West Coast Cougar sells the bracing for the Boss 302. Don't know about the Boss 429. Okay. Nick, you're a heck of a guy, Don. I'll be on the lookout for that. Yeah. Well, I'm hoping Don gets those up soon. He's got to get some videos up on his new channel. Joe Lee Cox, do the open side of the roof rail weather seal go to the inside or outside of the rail so that the window rolls up into the slot? Open side. Oh, it should, you're talking about the fat part of the seal? It should go inside. Think of it this way. If you have the window roll all the way up and you open a door, what's the seal going to do? It's going to want to, if you have the fat part on the outside, it's going to want to try to push that out of the way. And then when the door shuts, it's got to fight with it. So the fat part goes on the inside. So when the window shuts or comes in, it's making facial contact with it. So I know if you look at modern cars, a lot of I think modern Mustangs actually had I believe maybe it's convertibles, where you would, before the top opened, the windows would drop about a ½ inch or something, and then the top would go back so it didn't fight with it or whatever. So that's a different scenario, but it's still kind of the same idea. But yeah, the glass makes contact with the face of the seal. Don, the strut bolts to the cowl and to the same bolts the Monte Carlo bolts to. Okay. Monte Carlo bar. Yeah. Cool. I like that idea. Nick, I've already done the Autolite Boss 302 stuff. Yeah, A-pillar. I'm doing like 4 things at once. Yeah, okay. I knew you meant A-pillar. But if you did a B-pillar thing, then you'd have the Dukes of Hazzard thing. You know, you getting in and out of it. Dave Britton checking in. Glad you're here. Terry Baptist, hello from Pinellas Park, Florida. Good vibes. Appreciate the good vibes. Okay. Theodore is some letters. Gotcha. Thank you for that. Here's some other things that I wanted to kind of discuss. And, you know, this may be, maybe this is what I need to focus on whenever I'm doing these live chats, is just talk about what's going on directly. You know, doing this car stuff, whatever. Because sometimes it can be a lull, and it's like, oh, what do we discuss? But I want to let you know some stuff that's going on. So Bad Harry is checking in. Glad you're here. Robert says he likes the Mustang with fewer braces, but I'm cheap and buy a Bender and make my own if I did. Yeah, well, I would probably do a whole different, well, similar but different design myself. But anyway, so I think it was yesterday. Of course, I'm out here doing things, working on the car, trying to get any stuff done that I can. And I needed the air compressor. And I heard it go, eh. And that was it. It didn't run. Okay. Well, I just bought this compressor in November. So it's only, what, 7-8 months old? And, you know, I use it. I mean, that's the intent of having a big, heavy-duty air compressor, is to use the thing. So I had to start troubleshooting. Now, what can it be? Well, it could be the motor, could be the power supply, you know, breaker, could be the switch, you know. So I had to do some troubleshooting. And basically it came down to it was a switch. Okay. Why am I dealing with this? But anyway, I bought the compressor from Lowe's, and I decided, oh, you know what? It's got a 1-year warranty on it. And then I bought a 3-year extended warranty on top of that. So I thought, well, let me contact Lowe's and see what the scenario is. So I start going through the process. I log in, start doing my thing. And before I can even get to the problem, I'm looking at what the recourse is. How do they cover the warranty? There's one way you can do it, I think, where if you do the repairs, they'll reimburse you a percentage, like 50% of the bill or something. Another one is that they'll come out and fix it. They'll send a technician. And I think there were other options, but I really didn't get to those. So I looked at the send a technician bill, or, you know, option. And this kind of just stopped me because it said, We guarantee to fix it within 14 days. Well, 14 days. What does that mean? Does it mean it could happen tomorrow, or it could happen in 2 weeks? You know, when they finally get around to it. And I decided I'm not going to wait. I'm not even going to go through this process. I'm just going to go buy another pressure switch and swap this thing out. You know, $50 for a decent pressure switch. So that's what I did earlier today. I was out running around, running errands, you know, dropping off used motor oil at Advanced Auto Parts, went to Harbor Freight, went all over the place, and stopped by Tractor Supply. Actually had a pressure switch that would work with, it was exactly the same. The only thing difference is my compressor is rated to 175 PSI, and I bought a switch that goes to 155. Now, yeah, I could probably tweak that thing up a little bit if I needed to, but I don't know that I want to. I think I might just leave it to where it shuts off at 155 and just use it. But point being, sometimes you just have to take matters into your own hands and take care of it and get it done. So that's what I did. Now, of course, with that said, the wise part about me decided to make a video of it because, you know, it needs to go on YouTube. So that'll be on the other channel, the Joe Daddy's Workshop channel. That's where I did all the installation videos on that compressor. And so I figured, why not just put it back with those and run with it. So that's where that's going to go. Along with that, since we're on the subject of Joe Daddy's Workshop, I know I haven't put a lot of stuff out there lately, but I will be doing a video on this thing. Yeah, multi-tool. 24 volt max, brushless. I've done videos on other stuff that I bought from them, drills blowers and weed eaters and chainsaw. And so I needed one of these because I've got some work to do on our camper. I have so much stuff to do. I can tell you, I have so much stuff to do. But I've got to fix the floor in our camper. So that little bugger is going to help me with that. And I'm not looking forward to the job, but I know that little tool is going to make it a lot easier for me to get the job done. So anyway, there'll be a video on that at some point. But there's so many things I've filmed on this car alone. I think I have probably 5 or 6 videos that need to come out, that need to get finished editing and put up. But again, I can't just dump them all at one time and let it go. I have to kind of meter them out a little bit and hope that people stay interested. Let's see. Car Guy Troy, the new Mustangs, 02, 06, T-Bird, Bronco that have deal where the window pops down a bit. So you open the door, works great as long as the voltage is up. Low battery, no working so good. Yeah. Yep, I could see that. That's a good point. Gotta have power to make it work. Nick, the Mustang's fear doesn't really tie into a node. Node? I mean, I guess you could make it do that, but it's a whole thing. Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying. Yeah. Terry, I spent 3 days in the hot sun switching out my single gas tank truck bed for my dual gas truck bed. Oh, that doesn't sound like fun at all. Those gas tanks are booger. I don't like those. Michael, my compressor just blew up, 30 years old. I ended up replacing the pump pump unit from Northern Tool. Now it's my Frankenstein compressor. Yeah. The old compressor that I had, I just decided, I'm going to upgrade and put it outside. So that's what I did. And in the upgrade process, I got a bigger one and put it outside. Nick, I love my oscillating tool. It's actually perfect for scraping undercoating off when you finish it off with a wire wheel to get the little bits. Worked wonders. Okay. Well, thank you for that, Nick. That's a great idea. Hadn't thought about that. I'm looking at it from, of course, the wood aspect. Fabulous Fortunes. Wait a minute. You're telling me that I can get even more Joe Daddy on another channel? Yeah. Yeah, I have another channel. It's called Joe Daddy's Workshop. And it's everything else that I do that's not car. stuff directly. So, I've done everything on that channel. I mean, there's a lot of odd stuff on that channel, honestly. But I think one of my first videos was making a picture frame. Made a picture frame. I did a review on a camera bag. I've done reviews on camera equipment. I've done, I built stuff out of steel, like bird feeders. I mean, not deer feeders. I built those out of steel. I have welded cast iron. I have done reviews on Cobalt tools. I've worked on my camper. So and I put a refrigerator in my camper. So there's a lot of stuff on the Joe Daddy's Workshop channel. So by all means, go over there and start watching those videos too. Check them out. Richard, so are they going to reimburse you for pressure switch and your time for fixing a faulty item? Just wondering. I don't know. If they reimburse me for the cost of the switch, I'm fine, because it's not a hard task. But I just could not sit here and think, when are they going to arrive? I need my air, and I need it today. I gotta have my air compressor. So I just went ahead and fixed it. Dawn says, great idea, Nick. Okay. Oh, the oscillating tool, yeah. Robert, my compressor pump had a rod bolt come out and was very noisy. It got a Harbor Freight pump a while back. Pumps more air than the old pump ever did. Yep, good. David and Cheryl got to go. Get things done. See you all Thursday. Stay safe. Thank you for being here, Cheryl. James Smothers. Sorry I'm late. Hello, everyone. I am glad you're here, James. Glad you're here. Terry, do you bleed off the pressure and drain the moisture out of your compressor tank every once in a while? I drain pressure, or I drain moisture every day that I use it. So what I do, I don't drain off pressure at all. I will shut off the airflow from the tank into the shop. I'll shut that off, and I'll leave the compressor on. If it's not bleeding down, it's not going to run. If everything's working right. So anyway, and then when I do shut the valve off, at the same time I bleed off all the moisture. I drain the tank moisture out of the bottom. Shane, my 24-year-old Craftsman is still kicking. Can't complain. Yeah, I mean, you get a good one, they're great. Hopefully, I don't have any more issues with this thing. Robert, don't forget to use the Amazon link on the channel homepage. I've been using it a little more than I should lately. Yes, that's a good point. Thank you, Robert. If you haven't already been doing it, I'll point it out again. I have an Amazon page, and even if you're buying toothpaste, it doesn't matter. I have parts and products listed on my Amazon page, but if you go through my links and you order stuff, then I get a tiny percentage back from Amazon just because I brought you there. So if you're ordering stuff, if you're ordering big stuff, order a house or something, but go through my link and I get a little percentage of that. Rick Stevenson, I just went to look at another project this weekend. Like I need another project. I found a 74 F350 with a 12-foot flatbed, 304 speed. Sent a picture email. Oh, yep. I'll pull that up quick just to see it. Just to see it. So Rick said that was a 74 F350. Oh, let's see if it loads it. I might be jamming the system. Okay, there we go. 74 F350. That's a work truck. That's a good work truck. I look at trucks like that, and it kind of brings back a memory to me. Now that I just had a flashback. Wait a minute. Junkyard story time. Junkyard story time. When I see that truck and I recognize the big steel bed and stuff like that on it, I think back to, I think it was a 49 or 50 Chevy, like 1-ton truck. It was either 3/4. I think it was a 1-ton, honestly. I can't remember exactly, but it was a heavy duty truck. And it had a big steel box bed on it. It wasn't a flat bed. It was actually a box. Like it came up probably a good 3 feet or more at the front. And then it had a taper, like it came back and tapered back like a couple steps. And that thing, I think it was a 6-cylinder, 4-speed with a granny low transmission in it. But we used to use it as a wrecker. My dad had made a boom out of something, like a wrecker boom, but instead of having it permanent in the bed, he designed it to where it would be, there were like mount points. I'm trying to remember exactly how that worked out. There were mount points at the back of the bed, so he could mount it like maybe like a clevis type where it would pivot, and then he had a cable that ran up that you would hook to it, and that was I think that was your winching device. So like you would lay the thing down and hook on the car and start pulling the cable, and the cable would force the boom and the car to come up together. And then I don't think there was any like safety features. Like I would think a good idea might be to put a couple bars, maybe with a type of eye hook on it that would lock in, at the corner of the bed and the top of the boom. I don't think there was anything like that. I don't remember specifically, but it would make sense that there should be. But anyway, that old truck, we used it a lot to haul or tow cars and stuff. We also used it to haul coal because you could take the boom out. You could take it out and you'd have a nice, clean, open box. But one thing I remember specifically about that truck is, it had those tires that were about this wide on it, little 7-8 inch wide tires. And it was great in the summertime, but in the wintertime, that truck, you had to really, know what you were doing. And I'm trying to remember, I can't remember the transmission configuration. My mind is telling me that, and I could be wrong that, first, second, third, fourth, and I can't remember if reverse was all the way over to the right, which is what my mind is telling me it should be. But somehow I managed to be driving that truck, and I was going down a hill, and I think I'm trying to remember exactly what was going on, but it was snow on the road, and somehow I put it in reverse. I don't know how, because I remember looking and I was like, why is the truck suddenly going sideways? And I looked in the mirror and I could see the tires turning backwards on the snow. Luckily, nobody was around. I wasn't towing anything, but luckily I was able to, I got it in reverse. Anyway, that's your junkyard story for today. All right, let's see. Big King. I tried to warranty a Stanley Hammer. I sent it to them after email and pics. Now the response is 12 to 14 weeks wait time to process the claim. Yeah, you'll get it eventually, is what they're trying to tell you. Car guy Troy had to replace the unloader valve. My Campbell house filled, kept hissing. That fixed it. Yeah, well, the mine just quit. There was nothing. Terry Baptist, hope your channel gets sponsored someday. You know what? I wish they would. I wish it really would. Because I'll be honest, I've talked about this before. I don't know what is going on with YouTube, if it's affecting everybody, but I'm through these June and July and moving forward, the revenue is declining, and I don't know why. I've got over 50,000 subscribers. My videos get good views, good response, lots of likes, but the revenue keeps tapering down, and I don't understand it. So I think maybe it's because I'm too focused on one subject at the moment, like this car right here, maybe, and I need to mix it up some more. I don't know. I've got other plans to do things, like I've got to get this car together. I've got to get the 67 here. I've got the little Honda Civic outside that I got to rebuild the front end on it so I can sell it I'll do a video series on that. I've even thought, and I guess some people have done this where they do like a video every single day. I don't know if Scotty Kilmer, I don't know if he does one every day or not, but he's got like 1 billion views on his. All he does is yell at you for 10 minutes. But anyway, yeah, I'm hoping something happens, Terry. Marshall, howdy folks. Anyone have any first-hand experience with the Scat Pro Car 1050 series bucket seats and a mounting brackets? Looking at those, and I'm open to any other ideas. Thanks all. That's a pretty specific question. I don't know anything about those. However, I am looking at what do they call them? The SN95. I think it's SN95 seats, 05 to whatever, 13 Mustangs. I've heard that it's not very difficult to get those in these cars. So I may be looking at that. I may be looking at those. I'm not sure just yet. Doyle had an issue with my air as well. It was leaking down back to the check valve. Seal was blocking spring. Oh, well, glad you fixed it. Dave, woohoo, junkyard flashback. Yep. I get those every so often. Nick, time to get back to the Mustang. I'm making waves on this bad boy. Getting the motor has been motivating. Have a good one, guys. Thank you, Nick. Glad you were here. Ed, sorry I'm late. Glad I could make it. For information, called my vintage evaporator kit on order. Oh, wait a minute. Called on my vintage evaporator kit on order for 5 weeks and was told it could be another 5 weeks. Oh, man. That's not good at all. Shane, if you want to replace broken Craftsman tools, you have to go to Lowe's. Sears is gone and Kmart is gone. Something they argue about opening a package for one wrench, but it's not my problem, Mabel. You're right. You're the one offering the warranty. Robert sent a pic of the El Camino. No, it doesn't look that pretty now. At some point, I'll make room for her and give it an LS drivetrain. Ah, let's get okay. We'll get a look at the El Camino. And so Ben, bumper issue, air switch, or Krispy Kreme. You decide. Thank you, Ben. I appreciate that very much. Let's see if I can get Robert's El Camino up and running. Let's see. Here we go. So there's Robert's El Camino. Yeah. I mean, I still like those. I still like those. Pull that back. All right. Ed, sorry, Terry, just wanted to send some pics of the Mustang. Oh. Sorry, Terry just wanted to send some pics of the Mustang messed up. Okay. Well, I don't have anything. So if they're going to send them, try again. James, I told my dad I was going to install a Holley Sniper EFI, and we got into a debate. My side was reliability and mileage. My dad's side was computers fail, and EMP will kill it. He's got a point. But it will probably kill your regular car anyway. You know, if you got a point, or you're a distributor or whatever. You know, if you have a HEI or something, it'll probably kill that anyway. That's why they say the only thing running after that will be Model A's. Dave, Barry, when you guys had junkyard, did you use a car to carry your torch and tanks? We used to stand the tanks up in the back and use the tank hinges to chain up the tanks. Actually, I don't know if I have a picture of what we call the dune buggy. Let me tell you. We had since you brought it up, Dave, I'm gonna tell you what we had. We took a '66 Impala 4-door, rolled the body off of it. It's got a perimeter frame, you know. We cut, I think it was 3 feet out of the midsection. So shorten the frame. It's a square frame. There's nothing to it. Lop it off. You can square it up, put a sleeve inside. Shorten the frame 3 feet. From there, my brother put on, I think it was 1/4-inch plate steel, to make a floor pan and a toe kick, a lot of 1/4-inch plate. And then he took, basically built a roll cage like a race car. So it had a rear hoop in it. It had forward hoops. It had cross points, everything except we didn't have sidebars, but it had all the, well, actually it did. No, it did have sidebars. But it had all that. And then it had a front hoop that went out on top of the front frame rails. And I think it looped back into itself and then had drop offs that went down to the frame. From there, we put in, that's what held the radiator. And then in the back, because it's got coil springs, there's no leaf spring, so the frame doesn't matter. You can lop it off. We built a box, like a maybe 18-inch by 4 foot wide steel box. And on top of that was a keg, a beer keg that was the fuel tank. So that was up high and the box was down low. But we added a tow hook on the back that the oxyacetylene was on a 2-wheel dolly with a car, like a short car axle underneath it type of deal. And then you would just lay it down and hook it to the dune buggy, go wherever we wanted, stand it up, and do our thing. But that was our rate. We had a couple of those things we built. We actually built 3 of them, I think, and sold 1 or 2 of them. But the first one we built had I think it had a 283 in it with a 2-speed power glide. And then my brother put on old tires from my dad's dirt track racing era. I mean, these old, big, fat tires with a cross tread on them, and that thing was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun. Dangerous, but it was a lot of fun. So that's what we used to haul around stuff and tools and people, but it was a lot of fun. Let's see. Gordon, 68 gas money. Awesome. I'll give you 5 bells for that. Thank you, man. That is a good call. I like that. Gas money. Robert, go for the EFI. There won't be gas after an EMP, so it doesn't matter. That's a good point, too. Jerry, I purchased a gear wrench tap and die set, broke the tap adapter. And so I called the company, and he had me fill out a form, and I just received a new one at no charge, and they paid the shipping. That's a plus. That's a good thing, Jerry. Now, let me get a little bell for that. Okay. Let me tell you what I have some opinions on gear wrench. When they first started out, the first wrenches that I bought from them were the ratchet wrenches. That was their first big thing, right? And years later, I ended up buying another set. I don't know what happened to the first set, if I still have them. I don't remember. But I think I bought like maybe a metric version. What I found was, and I have a picture of it posted somewhere. The first set, they were narrow. The head, like the open end, was, I don't know, 3/16 1/4 inch maybe. I mean, it was pretty narrow. And I think they realized that wasn't strong enough. Whatever they did not make that, because they were focused on the ratchet more than the open end. So the next version I got, that thing, it felt like it was 3/8 of an inch thick or more. Big and fat, open end. And the problem, I like I said, I have a picture of them somewhere where I have both those side by side, and one is almost twice as thick as the other. Well, I happen to like that narrow wrench because you could get it in the tight spots. All of a sudden, that big fat end, open end, you couldn't put it anywhere. So I was disappointed with gear wrench on that aspect. But I do have other tools from them. So I mean, I still use them. I've got them in the drawer over there, and they're good stuff. They're good stuff for the most part. But that open end thing, I wish it was narrower. Terry, the global parts shortage is affecting a lot of stuff. That is true. That is true. Marshall, look at my recent CJ receipt. Wiper switch is due January 2050. What? Yes, 2050. Hope it doesn't rain before then. Think I'll try elsewhere. 2050. Big King, warranty on any brand tool presently is sketchy. Ace Hardware will warranty some Craftsman stuff. Lowe's only warranty the newer made by Stanley Craftsman tools with the Stanley part numbers. That's good to know. Oh, Shane is telling Marshall use a piece of string and bungee cord. It's your only hope. Gear Inch, the same company that makes Armstrong tools. I did not know that. Car Guy Troy, the dune buggy sort of reminds me of my dad's old dune buggy, old Pontiac with a straight 8, cut the body off with an axe. Moved the rear axle just behind where the front seat was. Cut the body off with an axe. Was it a Woody? Oh, man. Drive shaft was like 12 inches long on the dune buggy. Yeah, that's how kind of way ours was. Yeah, it was the scary part was that we had a tranny hump or tunnel, but right behind it, you could see the universal joint and the differential and the drive shaft. So, you don't want to like let your arm dangle down or anything. You might end up losing it in the drive shaft. But that was one of many off-road type vehicles we made. Probably the sketchiest one that we made. And I mean this. It was, well, I mean, there were some variations, but this one should have never been built. This one. It was a Pinto. Okay. I wish I had some pictures of this thing. It was a Pinto. And of course, Pintos were only 2 doors, and it was one of my brother's buddies wanted to build this thing. So what he did, he cut the roof off. Okay, it's a unibody. It's a unibody. You don't cut the roof off, but he cut the roof off of this thing. And then he took, I'm pretty sure it was drive shafts. And he welded drive shafts, long drive shafts from the A pillar to what would be like the C pillar to hold the car, to keep it from collapsing on itself. I think it still had the doors on it. And I'm pretty sure it had the doors on it, but I don't know if he was thinking he was gonna take the doors off at some point. I don't remember, but he had put these it was drive shafts, welded those in to make structural bars out of it, right? So then the thing was, well, we need ground clearance. Well, how do you get ground clearance out of a Pinto? You don't. There's really nothing you can do. You could put some curved springs under the back or something, or maybe flip them over. I don't know. What we ended up doing, we took the original 13-inch wheels, steel rims, right? Well, my brother used to make his own wheels for his stock car. He would take two, let's say 7-inch wheels or 8-inch wheels or whatever, and he'd cut them in half. And he would get the dimensions that he needed to make it like a 10-inch wide wheel that was custom for his car. So we did something similar to the Pinto dune buggy. Took a 15-inch wheel with it would have had a tire on it, and put the 13-inch wheel against it, against like the taper. So you had the inner taper, the 15-inch, and then the 13-inch went into that taper and then welded that. So what you ended up with was a wheel from the, it'd stick out. So you had an inner 13-inch wheel and then the 15-inch wheel outside of that with like big winter tread tires on it. And that was how we got ground clearance. This thing, it was sketchy, man. It was sketchy. We took it off road and it worked. It worked, but it was so sketchy. Big King. What about those airport service Ford Super Duties that are shortened? Yeah. I mean, they shorten them up, but they turn on a dime. I know that much. Grease Rookie. Hey, Barry, Andrew, Jade is looking good, or looking pristine. Thank you, Andrew. Thank you for that. Glad you're here. Terry says he loves his ratcheting wrenches. Yes. Robert, they're also the 6-door Fords that the Air Force had. That is true. Jeff. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. That helps. That helps. Dave Britton, has anyone tried to buy a decent used vehicle lately? Prices are through the roof here in Canada. There's a terrible shortage due to COVID. Looking for a Ford Expedition or a Navigator. Well, I know there's a Navigator. I could get you an Expedition. I could get you an Expedition for next to nothing. Literally. It's right next door. He's not using it. He'd love for you to come get it. But it's got engine problems. It's a really nice Expedition, too. It's right next door. Make a trip down. We'll have a visit. You can tow that thing back. I'm sure he'd be happy to sell it to you. Oh, yeah. Shane's asking Andrew if he got the rear valance fitted up to his car. I saw he posted a video, but I did not get to watch it yet. Bad Harry finally got Mustang parts that ordered last December. No time right now to work on Mustang during racing season. Sent you a couple of pics at the track. Oh, yeah. Now, are these recent? Because that's a good-looking car. Yep, Roger says he can make you a deal on a great 05 Expedition. I know he'll make you a deal. He'll make you a sweet deal. I'm going to download these pictures from Bad Harry and his racing Mustang. So, check that out. Super Summer Bracket Nationals. That's sharp. Here's another picture, too. I like this one. Yeah, that's cool. So it says somebody, John something, 2021. So, yeah, that's a recent pick. I like it. That's really cool. Let's see. Terry, the shortened Ford Super Duties are called airport tugs. Yep. Jerry, my neighbor just sold a 2000 Land Rover Discovery 2 with 150,000 with an oil leak for 8,500 last week. Wow, 8,500 for a Land Rover Discovery? That's like a $1,500 vehicle. I hate those things. Don't take it the wrong way. 8,500, he should be jumping for joy. He should be jumping for joy. That's awesome. Good for him. Let's see. Roger says the VVT might be a slight issue. Yeah. Variable valve timing. Okay, so Andrew's responding with 64.5. Hindsight, Land Rover and oil leak is a bit redundant, I think. Yeah. Yeah. I don't care for those things at all. Car guy, used car prices are up 30% from last year, respectively. Late model used are more than a new one in some cases. New is cheaper if you can find one. Yeah, I mean, I've got this little, like I said, I've got this little 2000 model Honda Civic. Granted, it's got 200,000 miles on it, but it's a Honda. I've got all the parts. I just got to put it together. Throw some paint on it. Sell it. So Don says wicked cool on the car. Terry, nice Pro Street Mustang. I don't know if it's actually Pro Street. Is it Pro Street? I guess so. I don't know what the labeling is. I don't know how they get identified. I don't know the difference. Don't know the difference. Let's see. Welder. I used to have an 05 Expedition, but that was the year that had injector issues. Mine flooded the engine with gas and hydrolocked the pistons, bent 7 rods. Yikes. That's not good. Jerry, he is all the way to the bank. I'll bet. I mean, I'm telling you, somebody would have to give me one of those things, and then I would turn around and sell it. I would not. I don't want one of those. Ever. Bob Shoemaker, late again from Oklahoma. I'm glad you're here. I haven't heard yet from Bob Knoll. I'm still trying to figure out. Bob had commented on the last live stream that he was unable to make comments on the chat. So I don't know if he still tried or not. If he said, so this is a shout out for Bob. I don't know if I have an email for him or not. Probably not. But something happened to where he could not make any comments, and he's not happy about that. I'm not happy about that. I want to keep him here. So I don't know if Bob is listening, but if you can't get through, send me an email. If somebody may have flagged a comment or something, and maybe because I looked in all the grouping. There's a group of people that are blocked from the channel. Just blocked. You're not in that group. Your name's not even showing up. So I don't know what's going on. Robert, Rover, Jag are a hole in the road you throw money into. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I don't want a Jaguar. I don't want any of that stuff. Bad Harry, watched your video today. Got a good look at your front balance. It looks fantastic. Okay. Yeah. Well, thanks. I'm looking forward to getting it all, get the bumper on and everything, and really seeing how it looks like outside, get some light on it. Yeah. Shane, if the VVT is due to cam phasers, they have a cheat now that prevents a complete front engine teardown. Well, maybe Roger can look into that. Welder, video quality is great tonight. Good. I have not seen any real hiccups, so I'm pretty happy with that. Willie Goodman, another late Okie is here. Glad you're here. Terry Baptist, you like old steam trains? Yeah. Who doesn't? I love those things. Trains are awesome. Old trains like that? Yeah, those are. I like watching old videos and stuff with, remember they used to take those trains and they'd smash them together, make a movie. Scary stuff. Dave Britton, this is how bad it is here. I have up to 30,000 and looking for something less than 75,000 miles. 5 years ago, you could get that for 10K. That is, yeah, that is pretty scary. Yeah. Yeah. We're just gonna, I'm driving my little Honda Fit. I love that little car. It gets great gas mileage. I can park it anywhere. It does everything I need it to do. And I'm very, very happy to have that little car. And I don't, I've said it before, if that thing dies on me, I'll probably get another one. I'm going to show you something else. Hang on. This is my first order. First order I've ever had from Kentucky Mustang. The reason I did this, well, part of the reason was I was doing research, as we all do, right? So a lot of times what I'll do is a price comparison. I'll go to NPD and I'll look at their parts, and I'll go to CJ Pony and I'll look at their parts, whoever. And I do a price comparison, and then whichever one has the best offer, I'm going to go with that, right? So I'd loaded up the cart with NPD stuff. And part of that was the door sills. And, NPD did not have the drip rail trim. Did not have it. So I was searching, and I found Kentucky Mustang had it. So I'm pretty excited about it because, again, I have not ordered from them before. And these showed up on the same day from NPD and Kentucky Mustang. So surprisingly, look at that. Okay. These, now the advertising said Dynacorn. Okay, is what it said. But I can tell you this is Corvex. Has anybody used Corvex? Anybody? Anyone? Bueller? Okay. So I have not tried this. I don't know anything about this, these in particular, But again, the listing said Dynacorn, I think, on their advertising. So those pieces I have now, and the other pieces, this should be, oh yeah, the scuff plates. Okay, so scuff plate and, oh, why did they send me two? I didn't order two. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. What else? Oh, I did order also. Sorry. I have not opened this. So I don't even know. I know what I ordered, but. Oh, yeah. New windshield trim. There's some. It actually gives me some clips and hardware. And I ordered new wiper blades. And I know I ordered. I don't know if they're both in here or not. Sorry. Wiper blades. Oh, that's the little sprayers. Little sprayers. They were cheaper at Kentucky than they were at NPD. So anyway, I think I ordered wiper arms. New wiper arms because I was missing one, but I don't see those in here. Now I'm really confused because I know I did not order. Let me see what this says. I have a receipt. Looks like a receipt. On the outside, all right, something doesn't make sense. Scuff plate kit. Surely this would be, well, maybe it's one of each box. What's confusing me is it says pair. It says pair right there. Why would it say pair if there's... Let me have a look. Let me have a look. Okay. Well. Ooh. Ooh, you see that? Why do I have two of these? Why do I have four of these? Oh, man. Wow. Look how shiny that is. And they're stainless. They're not aluminum. Wow. Oh, I didn't know. I was not quite expecting that. Okay, now I'm confused. Now I'm confused. Why do I have four of these? Because surely, don't call me Shirley. Surely they didn't send me an extra set for no reason. Nah. Let me put this back in here real quick. I'm confused. Let me see what it says here. I don't get that. Something's wrong. Something is wrong. So apparently, maybe I did order two sets. Maybe there was some confusion in thinking that it's like it should be one set. I don't know. They charged me. I'm going to have to call them up because that doesn't make sense. I don't know why. They sent me 4 emblems. Oh, wait a minute. I don't know. It's confusing. I don't know what's going on because one set is 67, 68 Dynacorn stainless. The other one says 64.5 to 68 Dynacorn stainless. It's the same part number. No, it's not either. Okay. Well, regardless, I'm going to have to figure that out. I don't need 2 sets. I don't need 2 sets. We'll have to figure it out. Let's see. Oh, let's see. Let's see. Let me get back up. So Kuderlev, us Okies are becoming as common as Dave's on this channel. Yeah. And Tennesseans. Dave Britton, best car I ever had was a brand new 88 Honda Civic. Could not beat it. Yeah. Good little cars. Let's see. Okay. What was that? Oh. Robert sent some pictures of his rebalance and stuff that he had sent to Andrew. So yeah, those look good. Those look good. I'll download that. Go back to StreamYard real quick. See if that'll let me open that up. So this is what Robert's talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Nice clean seam. That's how it should be. And then he was talking that about truck drivers going through the drive-through. He's on a forklift. Okay. Shane, cash for clunkers policy ruined the used car market years ago. COVID just twisted a knife. Yeah, that's a good point. Andrew Bear, did you ever make it over to East Broad Top Railroad when you lived in PA? Lots of great steam engines to see. I did not. Where did maybe I did actually. There's a museum on what they call it, on a horseshoe curve. I don't know where the horseshoe curve is, if that's where that's at. But I did get there, and we did ride a train. I think it was some sort of train ride I think we took. That was so long ago. Our kids were very little at the time. But we did go to some sort of museum. I don't remember what the name of it was. But, yeah. Jerry, I use Kentucky Mustang for many of my items, and I know the owner, and KM is a family-owned business. Yes, I've used Corvette strip rails, not real happy, but I think the problem was my fault. Okay. Shane Greaser, where are you in PA? All right. And Terry Baptist, oh, no, not made in Taiwan? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where they're made. Car Guy Troy, auction prices are starting to correct a bit on used vehicles as new dealer stock rises. Used will come down 6 months, and price will be more what everyone is used to if that trend continues. Yep. That seems reasonable. Robert, I'm looking forward to buying shiny pieces for the 66. Always get distracted by shiny stuff. Well, depending on what I've done here, because this kit should have been $76 for the stainless with the stickers. And it's showing 2. But what's confusing is it shows a 2, and then right below it, it shows another 2, but at no charge. And then it shows 4 scuff plate emblems at no charge. So I think there's an error and I'll have to. But I don't know why there's two different part numbers. That's confusing me. So anyway, I'll have to get this sent back. Dave, it's like Christmas morning. Yeah. Doyle, did you order 2 or 2 pair? Well, there may have been some confusion, but I thought I ordered 2, but I could have definitely clicked wrong. Very possible. Fabulous Fortune's old parts supplier trick to get you to build another car. Yeah. Well, the thing is, I do have other projects. Terry, I'm glad that your computer's behaving itself tonight. I am too. I'm not sure exactly what's helping. I know that I've been shutting off my desktop computer so that it can't sit there and rob from me. I don't know if my wife is what she's doing, if she's watching anything on TV or not. I don't know. Robert, I haven't been to Strasbourg in a really long time. Big train museum there. Okay. Lightning Rod, Altoona, PA, Horseshoe Curve. Yes. Okay. So that's where I was. It was Altoona. Because like my family lives in Somerset County. Most of my family lives in Somerset County. And my, what's Cambria County? My wife is from Cambria County. But anyway, that's where we went, Altoona. Robert, I need convertible ones for mine since I added the vert inner rockers. Ah, good point. Yeah, this won't work then. Yeah, coupe and fastback. Yep. Lightning Rod, you ordered scuff plates for a 4-door. Yeah. The extended Mustang. Clark, are the scuff plates blue or green? They're aqua. They're right in between. They're aqua. Shane, Trolley Museum in Washington, PA. Interesting. Papa Joe's Garage. Used to live in northern Baltimore County. Took the kids to Strasbourg all the time. You bring up Baltimore. I had relatives that lived in Maryland that they were, I don't know what's Baltimore. I know where they lived. And there is a major train junction there of some sort. I don't even know. All I know is we would hear trains all the time. And their house was, I wouldn't even say 500 yards from the tracks, because we used to walk down and you just see tracks, all kinds of tracks and trains. And it was a huge complex. But we used to go down there, and I'm not suggesting anybody do this, but we used to go down and put pennies and stuff on the track and let the train smash them. Don't do that. Don't do that. You get in trouble. It was okay in the 70s and 80s. Nobody said anything. But now you're in big trouble. Robert, maybe we should go to PA and go to Train Museum in September. Yeah. That'd be a good trip. Terry Baptist, Union Pacific brought back some of the big boy steam locomotives. Those are pretty awesome. Yeah. I could tell you, I may have it on this. I may actually have it on Joe Day's Garage channel. I did a video over 10 years ago there's a local place to where I live that it's a farm that they do antique tractor shows. They'll do old truck shows and stuff like that. And so on the farm, one of the coolest things you'll ever see is this giant steam-powered tractor. And when I say giant, I mean giant. This thing, I think the wheels are probably 6 or 7 feet tall in the back. And of course, it has this, giant boiler deal, and the front wheels are like 4 feet tall. It's a monster. But what they do is they'll fire it up. I mean, they sit there and they fire this thing up, and it just, moves along. And they also have, back in the day, back in the day, tractors were used for everything, of course, but you don't think about it. Some of the stuff they used to do with them, like now everything is like PTO. So you have a power takeoff that is mounted. It's like an extra drive shaft that drives whatever's pulled or driven behind the thing, right? The old stuff operated off of movement, a lot of it, so that whenever you towed something, maybe the wheels turning acted as a gear and turned something else or whatever and made it happen. But the tractors, a lot of, they used to have this big spool that stuck out on the side that was for belt driven stuff. So they would have this big, I don't even know what the belt was made of. I want to say it was like a leather material, but it was reinforced. And so that giant belt would loop off the side of the tractor. Now that you couldn't do it while you were driving, but it would loop off the side of the tractor and it would go back and it would power some other implement. And what they do with this tractor show is they have a sawmill. And now I think I don't know if they've had the steam powered one or something else running with the giant spool sticking out of the side and this belt system. And so the belt's chugging away, the engine's chugging away, and the sawmill is back there running off of the tractor with this giant belt thing. There's another one that they had running. It was like a baler, but it was a hay baler, because modern stuff you would tow, and the hay baler does the action and spits it out, whatever. Even back in the probably 60s and 70s, they had the rectangular bales would pop out. But this thing it's got some sort of, it's like a Rube Goldberg machine. I mean, when you look at it, it's got arms moving and levers moving and stuff pushing and pulling, and all of a sudden, the thing is compressing straw into a bundle, and then it gets tied up and pushed out. But it was all being driven off of one of these pulley systems. It's really cool to see that stuff. It is really cool because you don't realize how advanced a lot of stuff has become until you really witness those old items. It's kind of like driving the Model A around. It's a glorified tractor, but you compare that to any modern car, and it's just nobody really goes out of the way, let's say, to want to drive those on a regular basis. Clark, best train scene: Dirty Mary, Crazy Larry. Yeah, I could go. That's pretty good. I was thinking it was another movie that I remember. But yeah, that's a good answer. I like that, Clark. Get a little bell for that. Shane, not for the Mopar they were driving. Yeah, that's true. Hiram, hey, you were right all along about those torpedo heaters. As long as you remove whatever bad fuel in its tank, it'll start with no problem, even after a long time. Cool. Jerry, we have a Thrasher show in Adams, Tennessee in the middle of summer, and they have several coal-fired steam engine tractors that even show threshing wheat. Yeah, that was one of the other, maybe that was the other thing I saw too, was the threshing of the wheat. I mean, it's just amazing to see some of that stuff. In fact, the video that I posted, I think it's on there. Somebody has made one of the people that display stuff. They have this little box about this big. I mean, literally, it's like a big shoebox. Inside of it are scale models of a machine shop. So not only tractors, but you go back to like machine shops where they were driven off of one big wheel. They had pulleys and belts and shafts and more pulleys and belts and shafts, and all this stuff was running off of like one giant water wheel or something back a long time ago. But this guy built a scale model, and it has all of this powered machinery that is run off of belts. And like I said, the machines are like this big, and they work. They're all moving. They're all doing their thing, and whatever, milling machines and different stuff. But it's all the one his scale model is air powered. So he just has a little compressor pushing air into it, and all those things are operating off of that belt system. It's really amazing. I have it on here. I know it's on a video that I have on here somewhere. But just, if you're looking around for stuff. Lightning rod had to put a twist in the belt to keep it from coming off the pulley. Very cool stuff. That is true. I forgot about that. Good point. It's amazing when you think about it. When you think about the stuff, the technology, the machines, anything that we've developed in the last 200 years, and you look at the progression. I watch this, you see the shows like How It's Made. I love the show How It's Made. But what I really want to see is they show, how we made this whatever. How we made this Powerade bottle, right? I'm not so interested in how they made the Powerade bottle. I want to know more about the machine that made the machine. Like, you talk about the engineers, the designers, all that stuff, and what it takes to make this bottle. Making the bottle is the easy part once the machine is made. I want to see the more in-depth of how this machine was made to make these. That, to me, is more interesting. But all this stuff, the mega machines, impossible engineering, love those shows. And you look back, and again, you envision how they used to do stuff at the turn of the century and how we're doing it today. And just the capabilities are phenomenal. So, Robert, I have a 36-inch bandsaw that was made in 1895 and ran off of a steam line drive, big beast and no guards. Yeah. That one will put a hurt on you. Greg checking in from Australia. Glad you're here. Greg's Workshop. Dave Britton. Those belts are made out of cotton weave and rubber. My backside knows very well about those belts. We had one that my dad stole from school as a kid in our home. We had one that my dad stole from school as a kid in our home. Was not fun. Yeah. Well, I know the belts that I've seen are like, this wide. They're huge. Dawn. In rural Oregon, they have a threshing bees with steam-powered implements. Really cool stuff. Yep. Kids don't know how easy they got it today, right? I have a friend who lived in Kansas, and in the 80s, his job was harvesting corn, I think he said. And the fields out there are so big that he would just get in the tractor and drive. And he might drive for whatever time it was, half an hour, until he turned around and then drive back and turn around. Massive machines harvesting all that stuff. Papa Joe, I think that the large rail yard you mentioned is behind the Johns Hopkins Medical Center in East Baltimore. I lived near there when I was a kid. I think Hopkins existed that long ago. Oh, that's very possible. I don't know. It was a huge complex. I remember just as a kid, I was just, oh my gosh, there's so many tracks and trains, and it was amazing. Terry, as long as I'm not the one that has to shovel coal into the boiler. Yeah, that's a good point. I missed something up here. I know I missed a comment. Wait a minute. Where did it go? Because somebody commented about the old timers not having all their fingers. I don't know where it went. Oh, there it is. Lightning rod. Did you ever notice a lot of the old timers that lived with that equipment are missing fingers? Yes. Car Guy Troy, that's how it's made, where they go through the Ferrari factory is amazing. Way cool. Yep. Yeah, those shows are incredible. But again, the mass production of one item is cool. I mean, it is. But the one-off of the build of the machine that makes that mass production, I like that. I want to know how this gear turns this and what makes this, what makes all of it work, rather than here we popped out this bottle. It's hot plastic in an injection mold and hit with air, and it takes the shape and you're done. And we do this 10,000 times a minute or whatever. We'll slow it down so you can see it happen. Okay, that's great. I get it. I like it. But I'm more interested in the design of the mold and the air pressures and movement of the mechanisms. You know, like a complex watch. I would rather see that. Doyle finally making some progress on the Cutlass. Went from rust repair to collision repair. T-boned on passenger side. I hate to hear that. Hate to hear that. Oh, so Robert sent me a pic of the bandsaw, the death saw. Let's get a look at the death saw. See if it'll load. It's working on it. It's thinking about it. Here we go. Yep, that's a machine. That's a big machine. I don't know if that little Husky air compressor is going to make that work. You can try, but I don't know if it's going to work. I don't know what are you going to do with that, Robert? You're going to put it out front and put your mailbox on it? That would be cool. That would make a great mailbox holder. Okay, let's see. Shane. When I was young, 100 years ago, it seems, me and my friends would follow railroad tracks in the woods that led to nowhere. Scary stuff back then. Yeah. Yeah, I used to follow the railroad tracks. We had tracks that would run from, we had tracks that would run close to us that would lead all the way to the backside of our high school. So I used to take my three-wheeler and follow the tracks to the high school. That way I could get to school without being on the main road and getting in trouble. Don't want that. Yep. Sorry, I missed that earlier, Lightning Rod, about missing their fingers. Yeah. Yeah, there's the people that are missing more than fingers, hands and arms. Greg, Barry, there's a workshop work that still work that way. Okay. So you know of a shop that still runs off of belts? That would be nice to see. Doyle, 3/4-inch Bondo covered all the damage from sight when I bought it. Well, at least you weren't in it when it happened. Dave, the day I was born, our neighbor's 6-year-old kid had his arm ripped off in one of those PTO belts that was powering a sawmill. We ended up being friends when we were older. Yikes. Yeah, there's a lot of that happened. Just a lot of that, you know. I know of several horror stories of equipment that hurt people. Yeah, I don't even like to think about it. Terry Baptist, there was a time before airplanes were around that you had to cross the ocean by steamship, and that is very true. That is very true. That is, you know, of course, the Titanic was one of those. 777, I agree. I would love to see how a car goes from clay to mold stamping body panels. Yep. Yep. Robert, I sold it to make room for the Mustang. It was cool to have, but no room for it, and I didn't use it. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those neat things. If you got a 4,000 square foot shop, it's great. You can set that over in the corner and say, look at that piece of history over there. But when your space is limited, like where I'm at and you are, then it's kind of hard to keep a hold of that stuff. So I think you made a good decision, to be honest. As I said earlier, I have a new video coming out tomorrow. It'll be part 2 on the headliner process. I had to break it down because it would be too long in one video, but it covers some ground. I share good information, and I think everybody will get something out of it for sure. So, Jerry, has anyone seen the 2021 Mach 1 Mustang? I have not. Rick, guy on YouTube got both arms ripped off when he was a kid, and now is a farmer with a YouTube channel called Harmless Farmer. Oh man, that's a great name. Great name. Great guy and family. Man, Yeah, I mean, sometimes scary stuff happens. I saw a TikTok video yesterday that was kind of shocking, and it was this guy holding his phone with his right hand, talking to it, and he's saying, "Hey, does anybody else something about half a man?" And he's in a hospital, and he's wearing like this plastic support device on his chest, and he's like, he holds the phone and he says, "Hey, uh, something about I'm 20 years old and I'm half a man." And he like angles the camera down, and literally, I mean, there's like doesn't even look like there's any hips. I mean, there's nothing below where he's at. He's got like a nub for a left arm and a good right arm. And he says, "I'm 20 years old and I'm half a man. Follow me on TikTok." He said that he was cut in half by a forklift. By a forklift. 20 years old. Can't imagine. I just can't imagine. But anyway, I saw that on TikTok and I was like, wow, that's scary. Okay, so Greg says, yes, he does. Yeah. Okay, that's cool. Roger, living rooms work for neat old stuff. Yep, that is true. That is true. And in white, I've come back once again. Glad you're here. Glad you're here. Shane, good night. I have to go. Yeah, I'm going to be going about 10 minutes or so. George, JJ Vietnam 11 Bravo. George here. I have a video called Ben's Mill. It's all about a guy who used his mill's water power and belt drive. That would be cool. So if everyone wants to see, they can look up Ben's Mill. And thank you for your service, George. Appreciate it. Lightning Rod, the SS Badger is the last coal-fired passenger steam strip in operation in the United States. She has provided a fun, reliable, and affordable shortcut across beautiful Lake Michigan. Did you just copy that off of something? Did you just copy that? Because that looks, I mean, that looks like advertising. But I did not know that. The last coal-fired steamship. That's pretty cool. I'm not surprised, or I am surprised, that somebody hasn't just built some of those, like modern versions, so that make them steam powered, whatever, just to have that historic kind of feel for it. But I did not know that. Thank you for that. Dave Britton, I saw my first electric Mustang today. Was not very impressive. Maybe you wonder why they just did not come up with a new name. No, you did not see a Mustang. No, you did not. You did not. Just scratch that from your vocabulary. You did not see a Mustang. You saw a electric SUV with a Mustang name stuck on it. Lightning Rod, yes, I copied it, but I rode the ship and it was a blast. See, I could tell by the way it was written. This looks like an advertising. Car Guy Troy, the Mach-E or Mustang Mach-E shouldn't be called a Mustang. Neat car, fast, all that, but not a Mustang. Yeah, it's embarrassing. It is. To me, if you wanted to make an electric Mustang, take the Mustang that you have and make it electric. I saw a meme the other day. It was pretty funny. And basically it was saying, it had like Chevy guy or Ford guy or whatever says, "We're making an electric Mustang, blah, blah, blah." And then the Chevy guy says, "We're making an electric Corvette," and he's just two regular looking guys. It says, he's a Chevy guy says, "We're making an electric version of the C8 Corvette," or whatever. And then they show the last guy. He looks like he's on meth or something. He's all wigged out. And he says, "We're putting a Hellcat in a PT Cruiser," and it was Dodge. He's going to put the Hellcat in a PT Cruiser. Wait a minute. Welder says E-Stang. Yeah. Yeah. Robert, the Badger just got new owners recently. I looked at taking it a few years ago. It's pricey, ferry. I wonder if there's a discount if you shovel coal. Yeah, well, maybe. Might offer that. Terry, I'm here to watch. Okay. 777, no guy in Texas could build electric. No. Let's see. No. Guys in Texas build electric Mustangs. That's cool. Yes, they do. There are people out there making like classic Mustangs that are electric. George Humphrey, thank you for your service, 11 Charlie. Yes, 11 Charlie. That's why if you're talking to me, I'm not going to hear you. Terry, I thought the SS Jeremiah was the last operating steamship that was a Liberty ship. Well, he says Liberty ship. I don't know. Maybe so. The Infernal Craftsman, the Mustang Mockery should have been called the Fusion, unless they're keeping that for a version 2 nuclear-powered car. That would have been a better name. They missed it. That would have been a better name. Give you a bell for that. Doyle says Mennonites. Okay, I had to read that a couple times because I think there's an E instead of an I in the beginning. So Mennonites in southern Kentucky, north of here, still use the belt-driven sawmill and equipment, but are horse-driven. Interesting. That would be interesting. So I'm guessing the horses are doing laps, doing circle laps, and driving it through a shaft system. I assume. Let me get a little more coffee. Okay. So, as I was saying, I had to fix the air compressor today. Hate to do it, but got to have my air pressure. Got to have stuff done. I posted a Patreon video today. It's a public video. So I decided that I wanted the people to see what I post on Patreon, and they don't know that. If they're not a patron, then they don't know. So I posted a shop update video on my Patreon, and I made it public for this event. And because really, how else do people know? What's going on? So hopefully that gets some more people interested, and they can help support the channel and everything going on to help keep things going. Like I said, the YouTube revenue is not where it should be, but I'm just you've got to run with it and try to do the best I can. Let's see. Doyle. Paul, what do you think of Ford calling electric truck a Lightning? Well, they already had the Lightning, and it was a turbo-powered deal. They should. They really should. Why not? They should. Robert, we missed out on touring the Liberty ship in Athens twice, as I didn't know it was there. Was a 5-minute walk away from it. Man. Now you have to go back. Dawn, is that coffee cup blue or aqua? It's actually I wouldn't say it's blue. It's very similar. Right now, it looks similar, but it's kind of more aqua. So I'd have to go with aqua. Terry, Western Champlain has a diesel-powered Mustang. Okay. Interesting. Dave, the horses stand on a treadmill. We have a Mennonite community around here. Cool to step back in time and see how they do things. Yeah. We had Mennonites up in Pennsylvania where I lived. Of course, we had Amish up there. And, the Mennonites, they vary from the Amish. Similar kind of mindsets, though. I know the Mennonites, like all the Mennonites vehicles, they paint everything black. So if they own a vehicle, everything is black. And I mean everything except the windshield and the side glass. They paint over the door handles. They paint over the bumpers. Doesn't matter. All the chrome, everything. They take a brush and they just paint it all black. They don't want any. They don't want any nothing flashy at all. So that's kind of a unique thing, I guess. And they all wear button shirts and whatever. But they make a lot of pressure treated lawn furniture and playground equipment and all kinds of stuff like that. So really interesting how they do that stuff sometimes. Okay, what else do I have going on? I have my, oh, that's the other thing. I forgot to tell you this. And this isn't a big deal. This isn't a big deal, but it's part of the process. I have also, and again, I'm not looking at spending thousands of dollars on a stereo system. I'll just tell you that up front. I know Wally is a sound guy. You know, he's got he knows his sound. He knows how to build sound systems up, you know, 68 Mustang. I'm not that dedicated. I just want something that plays music. I'm not gonna. There won't be any amplifiers. There won't be any subwoofer. I'm just not, you know. So I looked on Crutchfield, and I did order a radio. It's on its way, and it's a digital radio, but it looks like a factory style. And apparently, you can hook up like an MP3 to it or whatever. They had better versions where you could hook up Bluetooth, you know, get your phone connected. I'm just not that motivated. I wouldn't even do that on a car that I have, modern car. I don't even have music on my phone. Just, I'm not that dedicated. So anyway, I don't know how good these are. And I really, again, I don't really care. I'll just say that up front. But I ordered some, these are off of Amazon. Serwin Vega is the speakers. 6x9, 350 watt max, blah, 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 blah. That's all I can say. So these are going to go in the car in the back. I also ordered some spacers that I think are in one of my boxes here. Oh, yeah. So I ordered these spacers that will lower the speaker in the below the panel, because I wasn't sure if these had a raised center cone deal, and they do. And because I was worried about clearance, if I put them up, are they going to interfere with the package shelf? So I bought these spacers, and that'll push them down just a little bit so that they clear the package shelf. Something to think about when you're doing this. Also, I have a lot of stuff in here. Also, one other thing that I'm kind of experimenting with this, because this, we talked about earlier about the seals that go up here, right? The material. And I was on Mustang Forum, and I think the original stuff was like double stick, and 3M sells some double stick material, and there's also like regular material that I don't know if NPD or whoever sells it, and it's pretty expensive when it comes down to it. What I've decided to try is I bought some 1-inch wide foam that's sticky on one side. Reason I did this, well, it was cheap. First of all, this was only like, I don't know, $8 maybe, $7, something like that. The plan is I'm going to put this on the trim, the stainless that runs up around the perimeter. I'll just stick it to it, put it up in place, and there's no reason why that shouldn't be enough. The double stick, yeah, it would help seal, but this stuff is like 1/8 inch thick, and it will compress. So I think it will probably address, you know, what I need. But I'm gonna experiment with this. If it works, fine. If it doesn't, I'll do something else. But you know, I still have, because if you look back there, Can I point at them without killing myself? Those are my seal strips, stainless. And actually, they still have some of the sticky stuff on them. So I've debated on just leaving it like it is and putting it back in, because it's actually in pretty decent shape. And before we quit tonight, has everybody found Iron Man yet? Nobody's commented. Nobody's commented. Harvey, so all the Mennonites drive Grand National Regals. I like it. Dave, Intercourse PA is a great place to visit and see Amish. My son bought a T-shirt that said, "I love Intercourse PA," and was sent home. He bought. He worked. Are you saying he worked at school? Is that what you're saying? Terry, the SVT Lightnings were supercharged, not turbocharged. Yes, correct. Supercharged. I actually rebuilt one of those trucks. It was wrecked. I used the wrong term. Good call. Robert, I'd probably be happy with Walmart special speakers. Well, these Amazon, they weren't that expensive. They weren't that expensive. Okay, so sent home school, yeah. Terry, did you find out why the car was leaning? I think I've narrowed it down somewhat. I did some measuring, and what I found is the front is actually really close from side to side, really close to being, the same height. But from left to right in the rear is where it's high on the right rear. And like the front is almost fine, but it's like 3/4 of an inch different on the right rear from the left rear. So I'm still have to figure something out with that. Crash Order, I may have missed this, but are you still going to make a custom grill? Maybe. Maybe. The plan right now is to take the Shelby style grill that I have and unbend it in a sense, I think, and see if I can make it do what I want it to do. If it'll meet the perimeter of the grill surround, I'll go with it. I may do some modifications to it just to stiffen it. But that's probably what I'll end up with. If not, then I'll get some more expanded metal and make my own. Peter, hi Barry, what distributor did you go with? Jade? So many different types out there. I'm just building a very mild 289. I don't know for sure. I don't know, because a buddy of mine put the engine together for me. And I think, I don't know if I put the distributor in. If you go back, if you want to go back in the playlist and look, I did a video where I put the engine, I did a break-in run on the engine. And I may have discussed the distributor at that point. I may have. But I don't remember. But I think there's something on that video that I did. Dave, are you going to install a C chrome on the side of Jade? You talking about in the where the down here, right there? You talking about that? No. It's ugly. It's ugly. Looks like an afterthought. I hate that piece. I like it on the 65 and 6. Looks fine. On a 68, bleh. I hate it. Ugly piece. Just my opinion, but it's ugly. Greg, Barry, the car is looking good. Thank you, Greg. Jorge, checking in. Glad you're here. Welder, is that Iron Man hanging out on the door track? Got it. Phil, he's hiding behind the corner of the hood or standing on the table. You know what? You get a bonus. You found the other one. Good job, Phil. Both of them are on display, but the Hulk Buster is barely visible. Good call, Phil. Let's see. What? Mason Fox checking in. Glad you're here. Jerry, My Mustang was 3/4 inch lower in the rear on the left. I installed a 3/4 spacer and it looks better. See, that's what I'm saying. It's the rear. It's lower on the left. So I may just make a spacer. Dave, yes, got it on the door. Mason wanted to ask Joe Daddy's Garage, since you're getting rid of Jade, what else are you going to fix up and keep for yourself? I haven't committed to getting rid of Jade, but it's leaning that direction. I've got other cars to build. I've got a 67 to build, another 67 that's going to get turned into a fastback. I've got another 68 Mustang to build. I've got a 68 Camaro to build. There's all kinds of stuff. So I don't know what I'm going to do. I'll keep the Model A for myself. For now. Doyle, a grill made out of 57 Ford Fairlane would look cool. That's true. That is true. I might give that a look. Terry, do you have a merchandise store for your channel? If not, just a suggestion, you might want to get one set up. I've thought about it. I do have a Teespring. So if you look in my videos, below the description, there's a banner for like Teespring. And on that is where you get t-shirts and mugs and wall hangings and posters and all that stuff. The only thing I don't have on there is the hats. The hats, you have to go through me. And so, if somebody's interested in a hat, they send me an email and we can go back and forth and figure out how to work that out. But that's what I'm set up through Teespring. So if you go to that banner below my video, it'll show you. Crash Rider got Iron Man, found him. Dave Britton, so I found something here where we differ. I think it looks naked without it. Yeah, it looks like, I don't like it. It looks like an afterthought to me. It looks cleaner and a lack of a better term, sexier without that. I just don't like it. I just don't like it. Harvey, Tina will not have that fake molding either. Yeah. Mason, JJ's Garage should put up a Jake sticker in his shop. Well, there's probably one in here somewhere. Yep, it's right there. You can't see it. It's on my door. Jegs, Summit, Amsoil, Ranchero, Mallory, How Cool, Summit Speedway, Matco. I got all kinds of stickers. Autometer, Schoenfeld headers, Edelbrock, Pro Ride, Trailmaster. There's all kinds of stickers on that door. Yes, thumbs up by all means. Dawn, I don't know, but it seems not most early Mustangs sit high right rear. Torque maybe. Yeah, that's what it could be. Yeah, it's the transfer. It's weight transfer. Terry, the flamethrower distributor is not bad. Okay, thank you for that. Robert, the 66 will probably get the scoops. I don't like the gills either. Yeah, I mean, I like the C on the 65 and 6, shape, whatever. But on the 68, doesn't look good. Terry, would you sell Joe Daddy's Garage install walkthrough videos? I haven't really thought about that very much. I put so much information on my videos as it is on YouTube that I'm already kind of doing that. Maybe I should just go back in my history and just pull off all my old videos and put them on make them sort of like an archived where if somebody wants to see them, they join a club or something and they can watch them. I don't know, but I hadn't really thought about that. Okay, we're well over the 2-hour mark. I'm going to call it a night. It's been fun. It's been fun. We've talked about a lot of different things. Everybody involved kept things moving. Awesome. I appreciate everybody hanging in there and making it a good time. We did answer some questions tonight. We had some good conversations. So I appreciate everybody's input. It looks like I should be able to be back on Thursday. I was unsure this week because we're having a birthday party for our grandson, and we were going to have some relatives come in midweek. but they can't make it. So I'll probably be able to do the Thursday live stream, but hopefully I can get some more stuff done and, keep feeding the machine, keep feeding the machine. So thanks for being here. We'll do it again, but until next time, take care of yourselves. See ya.